This episode of the Boss Rush Podcast is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support the Boss Rush family of podcasts, head to bossrush.net or our Patreon at patreon.com/bossrushmedia. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Boss Rush Podcast, a great place to play games and be better. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Dirrig, and alongside me, as always, is the PC Muscle Race himself, LeRon Dawkins.
What's poppin'?
Another great pink shirt, LeRon.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Like, oh no, pink is my color. I love it.
I'm telling you, man, you should wear pink every week.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink. There you go.
Hey, and it is Wednesday! Oh my gosh!
Wednesday.
See
Yes,
how my
yes.
brain was buffering for a second after I whipped out that movie line?
Unfortunately, I don't have any pink tank tops, but I will fix that.
I have pink in the lettering of my shirt. I hope that counts.
And
It counts.
I can turn a couple of t-shirts into muscle shirts. So there's that.
That's fair.
All right, show
Fair.
off.
Also joining us is the mad pharmacist herself, Stephanie Klimov.
I'm
Come
holding
on,
in
boy,
all
dude.
my excitement. D-Day is here. Literally, one of my favorite representatives from a publishing developer company, whatever. I'm just Devolver Digital.
I know. Look,
We went from favorite to one of favorites halfway through that sentence. What changed?
Calm down, you nerd.
Aw.
I'm just messing with you.
Boss Russ, keep going.
Very funny. Very funny. So we have a very special guest tonight from a Boss Rush favorite
Yeah.
company, Devolver Digital. JM Specht is here. The community outreach is your title, but you also have a way cooler title that I couldn't keep up with when I was typing it out, and then I was too embarrassed to ask you what it was again.
Well, hi. I'm JM Rhymes with Mayhem, Executive Director of Counterintelligence Operations at Devolver Digital Entertainment, a subsidiary of Fork Park is Illegal Happy Funtime Cayman Island Offshore Holdings, #crimes. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Yay!
This is great.
Yo.
I think Stephanie's clearly the biggest Devolver Digital fan here, but I do want to say, last year, Death's Door was my favorite game I played last year, hands down.
Nice.
And it's one of the best gaming experiences I've ever had, even to the point where when episode 200 rolls around and we kind of maybe go over our top 20 games of all time or whatever, Death's Door is going to be on that list.
Oh heck, Death's Door is going to be on the Boss Rush bucket list too for the site.
Yeah, it's amazing. Death's Door is amazing.
That's
So,
fantastic.
Yeah, I actually have like one of the special physical copies from
mhm.
Special Reserve Games.
Special Reserve
I-
as Gato Roboto, as Trek to Yomi, and still waiting on Inscription and Cult of the Lamb.
Nice.
I
nice.
also want to make it a point to say that you guys know me. I'm not a physical games guy, but Death's Door is a physical game that I purchased.
Nice.
So
Woo!
I have now purchased Death's Door 3 times.
Wow.
Corey,
Ron?
I was gonna big time embarrass you and be like, just stop your lying, dude. But nah, I wouldn't be able to keep up the farce.
Well, I mean, look, to be clear, the only console I collect physical games for is Switches, and that's because I don't know if they're gonna be forwards compatible or backwards compatible or whatever compatible.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Now I'm starting to think, should I rethink my strategy about Nintendo
No.
switching their games, because I've been buying digital. Like I just bought Advance Wars digital.
I mean,
I pre-ordered that 2 fucking years ago, but anyway.
Fair.
Listen, LeRon, the age of you to be sour about that is over, okay? Leave that in the past.
Oh
Not
no!
out yet, is it?
Oh no! I'm gonna dig and dig and dig until I find gold.
It's funny. The only other kind of physical games that I have besides my old games is Destiny, and that's like the most worthless disc I own. But here's the thing: I have all those collector's editions, right? I was gonna do the unboxing videos. Sorry, we're gonna get to Devolver in a second, but I have to tell the story.
Oh boy, here we go.
And I was like, okay, well, I'm never gonna get the Shadow Keep collector's edition. It's too rare.
Mhm.
It's too, it's too expensive for the ones that are selling. Somebody spelled it wrong on eBay, and I got one.
What?
Super cheap, shipped
Nice.
for under $180.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So I have that coming, and I'm gonna unbox every single collector's edition at once, even though I've already unboxed them and looked at them. But
You're gonna
as
fake
the
wonder.
huge YouTubers we are, right? The huge internet influencers that we claim to be. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna unbox them all as like a 10-year retrospective of Destiny. I think so. I think it'll be fun. Anyways,
Sorry, the only thing I influence people to do is curse a lot. That's the only thing I influence people to do.
anyways, we're not here to talk about Destiny. We're here to talk about Devolver Digital. We're here to talk about JM. You're also a voice actor, it says.
What?
Does.
In multiple places.
Oh, good.
Where I found you.
Oh, good.
He wasn't
Good,
stalking
yes.
you at all.
No, I like to. I wasn't stalking. I was researching.
Yeah.
He was being thorough, Stephanie. Yeah. Thorough.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you kind of do at Devolver, and then we'll kind of dive into our own question. I'm sure Stephanie has 1,000 questions. I have a couple myself, and LeRon, he'll make fun of me for asking questions.
You're damn right.
Well, sure. Like I said, my official title is Community Outreach or Executive Director of Counterintelligence Operations, etc. I do a lot of clown work at Devolver. It started, well, I guess I'm in marketing in general, but it began with doing shows, like way back when Devolver was a couple folding tables and 3 PCs at a show. I came and was a booth babe for them and have been hanging around ever since, and have gotten to be in ads, do voices for ads, mostly did shows for the longest time. Hanging out with devs, being what do you call, like, I don't know, just like showing people around, like, because we've got a lot of people from around the world coming to shows. And then nowadays it's largely digital marketing, making ads and stuff like that, writing, doing voices, making weird things.
Do you do voices in Devolver's games?
I'm in.
You seem like somebody that would be in Cult of the Lamb.
Couple games. I'm not in Cult of the Lamb. I'm in Observation and Shadow Warrior 2. And probably something else that I'm not remembering.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's great. And getting to be like, do voices for the ads is a lot of fun.
Question.
Yeah. Yes.
We were talking about setting up stuff at events. I have a question about PAX East, where you guys had this massive booth with this cool sign, just big Devolver in lights that you could see from miles away. Who gets to keep that when everything is all done? Where does that go?
So these days, honestly, I guess it's somebody at the company that fabricates them for us, I guess, gets to take them home these days, because it used to be all the stuff that we brought to shows we held on to ourselves. But as we've grown, we work with a company named Circle, and they fabricate our booths for us, and they create all the stuff. We do tend to use those things for as long as we can. So the light up sign will be around for about 5 years. And then at the end of that, I guess JR decides that. He's the one who designs the booths. And he's been doing that for years, and he's obviously incredible at it. You saw our booth.
Yeah. I volunteer as tribute. If they ever decide to throw it away, I will take it. And I will put it on my roof.
I will. In the event of, you can be on the list.
Oh, perfect. At least I made the list. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, so we actually have a couple questions from our community. I'm gonna ask them first before we get to ours because they're more important than we are. So the one true James has two questions. He says, walk us through a day in the life of a community manager at Devolver Digital. You kind of did some of that already, but you want to kind of like what is your day to day kind of thing? You have a cool setup, so I mean, it looks like you're like
Thanks.
hanging out doing a cool thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do. So I've done streaming for Devolver for years, and we have a podcast, the Fortcast. Y'all drinking at the same time. That's uncanny. We do the Fortcast, and I mean, I don't know that there's a typical day. It really kind of depends what's going on, and I in particular, community outreach, I guess, tends to mean special projects. So I sent y'all a couple of videos of stuff like we did the Devolver Public Access Holiday Special with Mr. Meatless, and we do a lot of weird things like kind of one-off special events. We did when Fall Guys came out. We did a multi-streamer game of what's the game that Fall Guys is based off of? The TV show,
Oh,
the
like Wipeout?
yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
expansion extreme challenge something. Anyway,
I'm
it was
looking it up.
Extreme Fall Guys is what we called it, and so we had a bunch of people competing. But so we do these kind of one-off events. So I kind of move from project to project, I guess, like depending on what I'm needed for on a particular ad beat, marketing beat, and stuff like that. It's very fluid, which I like.
Cool. The game the show it's based off is it's Total Extreme Wipeout,
Total Extreme Wipeout, yeah.
according to a quick Google search on Wikipedia.
Thanks, Google.
May or may not be accurate, but
Come on, the internet is always right.
I know.
Come on.
Says AI.
Our next question from 1-2 James says, what is your favorite game published by Devolver?
Me personally, I mean, so there's a lot to like, and I'm ready. I've got an answer for this question. It's Absolver.
Nice.
It's such a good. I can say fucking, right. You can't hear me.
Oh, yeah.
say
Nope,
F-bombs,
yeah,
right?
no.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
Curse
such
all
a
you
good
want.
fucking game. It is so good. I mean, and we have so many incredible games. I mean, Downwell is a perfect game. Enter the Gungeon's incredible. I mean, we've got tons of amazing games, Grease, all this stuff. But really, for me, Absolver was an incredible combination of something that was artistic and beautiful, but was at the same time doing something that no one else was doing, at least that I was aware of, where you had a fighting game where every player is going to have a different style and like you can create your own custom move sets. And it was just so cool and so ambitious. And that's the team that made Sifu.
Yeah, I love
So
that game too.
yeah, so they've moved, they've moved for a single player thing, but I really hope that the incredible success of Sifu and I don't know, Sifu 2 and Sifu 3 or whatever eventually leads to an Absolver 2, because the only complaint people seem to have about Absolver was that there wasn't enough of it.
That's a good complaint to have in a sense.
Yeah,
all things
It's true.
considering.
To be fair though, some games overstay their welcome and then you just don't want anymore. So that there are definitely games that I've played that are like that. And yeah,
and there definitely should be more Absolver.
Yeah,
there should be more.
Our next question comes from Pat Klein, who
Hi, Tiny Pat.
Yeah, Pat. What was the nickname we came up with, Pat, on book club the other night?
PK Power. PK Power.
PK Power. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
PK Power.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna get him to start using it.
Yep.
That should be the name of his spin-off podcast, PK Power. Oh my gosh, Pat. I know you're listening.
Oh.
Anyways, Pat's quite I got really excited for some reason. Pat asks, who are some of your favorite content creators you've worked with?
Us. Yeah, Boss Rush podcast, Boss Rush Media was, I mean, creme de la creme, tippity top,
Knew it.
peak of the heap.
Cutting that out and putting that on.
Soundbite, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, we've had lots of folks that we've worked with. I mean, I used to do a lot of the when Twitch would actually have a stage at a show and like
Mhm.
get developers on and show games. I would also come on there as sort of a liaison between the devs and the Twitch hosts, and also just kind of as someone to be there as a constant as multiple folks come on and just help talk about the games and stuff like that. So, I mean, Mary Kish is great over at Twitch. What's Ezekiel the Third, Man versus Game. I don't know. Lots of really cool people. There's but then nowadays we have Clara who does Clara and Jess who are our influencer outreach department. And they're fucking friends with everybody. It's wild. Yeah, I don't know. We've gotten to work with so many people. What is it? Richard Hammer was working with us for a long time. Toki. Too many. Too many.
There are a lot of content creators out there.
There certainly are.
I think with YouTube and just how easy it is to make podcasts and stuff now and streaming and all that, it's like, man, it's just so easy for anybody to get into it, and
Yeah.
it's cool though when you see people really take that next step though and actually make it like their thing, like
Yeah.
I know, like Mary Kish, you mentioned. I met her a long time ago when I went to PAX one year, and she was really friendly and really cool. Brittany Brombacher over at What's Good Games is another person that I met a long time ago, and we became friends. We haven't talked in a long time, but obviously, What's Good is taking off and doing really great and whatever. But like we met and became friendly, and seeing them take off was super great. I don't know if you know who Ray Apollo is. He works at Twitch. We were friends for a while. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool to see people like take off and how getting into it is easy, but when you see them actually take off, it's super cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Our last question from our community comes from Ice Malone 330 via Twitter. He says, "How did Devolver fall into the personality of the game industry everybody loves?"
Good question.
Yeah. I think at the core it's just a bunch of fucking weirdos. And that's what makes it work. You've got the guys from Gathering of Developers that originally got together and they've got an offbeat sense of humor. Harry, Mike, Graham, Nigel. They're just weird, good dudes though. And I think that's the at least from my perspective, that's always been kind of the thing. It's like it's weird, it's offbeat, it's fun, but I don't know. It's like the in your face attitude, but like without being a dick about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like it's
fun.
It's just fun. Like we just publish video games. Like, yeah, it's a business and like we're trying to make money and all that jazz, but like there's no need to be like it's just for fun and it's a joy and it's a wonderful opportunity to get to do these things and it's such a cool fascinating industry and publishing indie games like Devolver is Devolver nowadays and I think also I pin the blame for our personality on the founders of the company, which of course a lot of it is, but it's also like we're such an artist forward company and we always have been. We work with these indie developers who are artists and rock stars of the age and because so much of our early business and our current business is because someone says, hey, I worked with Devolver and they were really good to work with and they recommend their friend who's an artist who's working on something wild and crazy and great. Because we worked with Vlambeer, they recommended Denaton, and that's how we get Hotline Miami. And someone recommends us to anybody. Like it's when you're artist forward. I mean, it's just like any. I mean, it's just like Austin, or I'm in Seattle these days, or near Seattle. You know, all these places that have this any city, any place that has like a personality. It's because you've got artists there making art, and it's weird and it's wonderful, and you just got a place where artists have access to doing the thing, and that's yeah. I mean, I'd say that's it. And then also Nigel is just really fucking funny.
You know, I think that's why Boston has no personality. But joking aside, that's one of the major reasons why I personally was very attracted to Devolver and their games is just their overall kind of attitude, and it's something that I can't put into words either. As you're trying to describe it, I was trying to figure out words as well, but you guys just have like this. My son's in bed now, that's why I had to go for
Okay.
a second. Like amazing like fucking attitude where you're just there to produce good content. I think you have a wide variety of games. Like you've got stuff like Terra Nil to Angerfoot that's coming out to, again, Hotline Miami to Gato Robato. Like it's all, you guys have a wide range, but it all, like you said, is artist forward. And I feel Devolver has grown pretty large for an indie publisher, but you guys still behave the same way. You guys still are close to your roots, and it's something that's really appreciated.
Thanks. We try.
Yeah,
but it is. It's. Well, I was going to say it is deliberate effort. I think like to maintain something. It's like being kind when you're out in the world. Like, sure, like you can be naturally kind, but it actually just requires effort. Like it does require effort to you got to remember to be kind.
Yeah, sometimes I think so many people get it in their heads that they have to do a certain thing, and sometimes people don't. They forget to be that. A little bit of kindness goes a long way, and they just kind of do what they need to do to get ahead. And it's nice to see that like a company that like Devolver is, embrace their personality, but also have this kindness and working with good people.
It's great. I'm unbelievably lucky to work at Devolver.
By the way, I want to shout out a few Devolver games that I also really like, because I did this the other day when I just didn't realize some of the games that I played were from. We had Way Forward on a couple weeks ago, and there was a bunch of games that I played that I guess I just didn't realize were Way Forward games, but Devolver Digital games. My Friend Pedro, amazing game. Katana Zero, amazing game. Ape Out is a really cool, interesting rhythm game. Gree is a great game.
I have the physical of that too. Sorry.
The Messenger. Like there's so many great games. I forgot how many great games you guys have done. So
yeah, it's been a lot. I just wanted to say, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but it is Dead Toast's birthday today. The day we're recording this, it is my friend Pedro Dead Toast's birthday. So happy birthday!
Cheers.
Wherever you are. Those are some good picks too. Those are solid choices. Katana Zero, Ape Out. I love Ape Out. Ape Out could also be my favorite Devolver game. Katana Zero is also very, very fucking good. Those are all good games. Good choices. Excellent choices.
Yeah, I know a lot of people love Inscription too, which I didn't realize you guys did. Loop
Why'd you say a lot of people love it? Are you being evasive about your feelings about it?
I've never played it, so I can't tell you if I like it or not.
Oh, what a treat for you!
I'm gonna do it eventually.
Well, see,
also, I didn't know there was a iOS My Friend Pedro game where he's on a motorcycle. That's cool.
He's on. It's you talking about My Friend Pedro: Ripe for Revenge? Available on Android and iOS. So another community outreach kind of the thing. There was a GameSpot or IGN or somebody doing their a developer watches a speed run of their game and developer reacts, and we had Dead Toast do one of those, and I went on as the voice of Pedro the Banana for that. Just weird things that I will end up doing. So there's that on YouTube somewhere.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia, and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dirrig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support. All right, so I have a question because I'm scrolling through your games on your website real quick, and I see that if you go to their website, that says what platforms are on the bottom. There's a few on here, and I don't know if you can talk to this or if you even know how it works or anything, but there's a few on here with Netflix on it. Like, do you know how that works? I mean, do you see Netflix becoming something bigger than just kind of?
Well, they're
like
working on it. They're working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't know how the future will go. Netflix certainly surprised the world when they went fully digital. I think a lot of people were like, tut, this won't work.
Yeah.
And it seemed to have worked.
Buy discs.
But buy discs. But yeah, so what they do is they, it's part of it's like any subscription based service. But what they do is, like, if you have, like, Terra Nil is free on Android and iOS for Netflix subscribers. I don't really know how you do that, but like they want that to be part of their thing. They've got a lot of games actually on Netflix right now.
Yeah, the big one right now is what Night in the Woods 2 or Oxenfree 2. I don't remember which one.
You mispronounced Terra Nil.
Yeah.
You mispronounced the shit out of Terra Nil.
No, I'm just saying in terms of in terms of what Netflix is trying to do. So people were really mad that it wasn't coming to Xbox. Which, by the way, I have to thank Devolver for putting their games on Xbox, because I know a lot of companies sometimes choose one or Switch and PlayStation, or a combination of the other three platforms, and Xbox kind of over here.
Yeah.
As primarily an Xbox player, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, JM, for putting your games on Xbox.
Yeah, as someone in marketing, I handle a lot of porting. Well, kiss that thank you goodbye, because from here on out, all of our games are the only console they're coming out on is Playdate.
Oh no! Well, that's cool though. I mean, you got to crank one out. You know what I mean?
It's called hip, and it is.
It's true. Playdates are cool though. I kind of want one, but yeah. So, anyways, back to the Netflix thing. I think people don't realize that Netflix is trying to compete with Game Pass specifically, and that was like the big thing. But that's a conversation for a different day. I just wanted to.
I mean, everybody's trying to do subscriptions because it's more profitable for them as a platform.
Mm-hmm. Do you think subscriptions are good or bad? And I don't know if you're allowed to say. I don't know if Devolver is like. I know there have been some Devolver things on Game Pass and probably some on PlayStation Plus, but
it's. The lovely thing about working in the video game industry is I don't have to assign a moral value to something. Or should I? I mean, Devolver, like, I don't know. I don't want to speak for the company as a whole, like, about the future. I personally worry about the video game industry, moving forward, because we've seen, like, we've seen how the television, film, and music industries have been absolutely devoured.
Mm-hmm. It's like a race to the bottom.
Yeah, they're just chewing stuff up and canceling shows for tax breaks and all this stuff. And this, I mean, part of this is, as silly as it is, that we moved away from discs, because suddenly people can cancel like what shows you have access to. They couldn't cancel your discs before. But I mean, it's weird. It's like the shift from barter and trade to, I don't know, currency. It's like, no, you got an imaginary thing that you have while you're subscribed to us. But so, I mean, I'm personally concerned about the video game industry, considering all those things. And indie games, what is really amazing about the video game industry over any other artistic medium, I think, is that people will buy indie games, like a lot of them. Like, people actually buy indie art when it's a video game. Not a lot of people. Like, some people buy indie music, and that's fantastic. People watch indie films. People, I don't know that indie television is so much of a thing, but like people don't want to pay for it. They don't want to pay for an indie thing. They won't do it. But people will pay $5, $10, $15, $20, real money for an indie game. And that can be something be made by a small team, And one of, this was, it's old, but Nigel, one of our, founders, head of marketing, has a speech from many years ago that he did it. I don't remember if it's GDC, but it's like, you don't need a fucking publisher was the title of the speech. And like,
Nice.
you get 4 people who work together on a game, they put it up on Steam, and obviously there's so much saturation. Like, it really, like, so many amazing games will never be seen because of just the way it's just the way things are. But like, there's real opportunity to like make actual money and make okay money and like live as an artist. And it's neat. And I'm afraid of that going away personally.
Yeah, indie games are is such a huge niche. I know once I crawled out of my Zelda shell because I was primarily just a Zelda person for the
Your
majority of my life.
Shelda.
Oh,
Ah.
nice. I'm. It's kind of funny, like
Kill me now.
other than Zelda, for a lot of AAA games, I'm kind of like, oh, wait till it's on sale or
Mhm.
whatever. I'll play them, but when it's an indie game, I'm like, I'll pay full price. I don't think I've ever double dipped in my life. I have Inscription on my Steam Deck. I'm pre-ordered the Inscription for physical. Like, a lot of my physical media now is just purely like indie stuff. I absolutely love it. That's why like PAX is just I'm in heaven when I'm there.
Yeah.
Also, but just quickly from a consumer standpoint, I know I'm speaking mostly about TV, but we can transpose it over video games. Is when streaming initially became a thing, it was really just Netflix, and then maybe like a couple more would drop here and there. And
Mhm.
if you drop cable, which is what I did, dropped cable to pay for like Netflix and Amazon Prime, and that's it. Saved a ton of money, but now I had Hulu, HBO Max to watch The Last of Us. There is Disney Plus, and like all of that shit adding up, I was like, holy fuck, this is like just like my cable bill, if not more. um, and I know video games aren't there yet, but I was looking at, there's Ubisoft has one, there's Game Pass, there's PlayStation, Nintendo Switch Online, um, and then Netflix with the gaming. So I would love to be on like a ton of subscription stuff for games too, but that also is adding up. And what now? I have to like pick and choose what to pay for. I don't know.
Mhm.
And also, I like to be able to revisit and play a video game in 20 years, and I highly doubt that
Yeah.
game on the subscription service that I currently have is going to be there for me in 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and that's where, I mean, Steam has been the cornerstone of indie games. You don't have to ship
True.
anything, you don't have to deliver anything, and it's incredible. And people will just buy, like, people don't even play them all the time. They just buy them. They're like, I want to own it, and they have it
Yeah.
in their library. Hopefully they play it someday and it's good.
Yeah, I think for me, actually, I think Game Pass has been more of a discovery tool for me personally.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of talk about Death's Door, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, well, it's on Game Pass, so I'll try it out. And I'm not as these guys will tell you, I'm not the biggest indie person. Like, it really takes a lot for an indie game to like really get me to try it out. And I was like, okay, well, I'll try out Death's Door. And I absolutely loved it to the point where like I bought it even though it was on Game Pass. I bought it
Nice.
on Xbox, and because I'm like, well, I use Game Pass as a discoverability thing, and then if I really like the game, I will purchase it right there on the spot, right?
Nice.
And um, I almost use it as like a demo service, I guess. And then I was I was going on vacation, and I ended up actually buying Death's Door on Switch and playing it there because I can't take my Xbox. I guess I could take my Xbox with me, but I can't play it in the car,
Yeah.
So uh I ended up playing it and beating it on vacation, and it was one of the best experiences I ever had. And then I've also found other indie games that way too, and I know I'm in the minority and kind of use Xbox. Not I don't use Game Pass the way that it's probably intended, but I'm sure Xbox appreciates it that I am a Game Pass subscriber, and then I turn around and bought a game that was on Game Pass. Uh,
Well, and
But
all the developers probably appreciate that too.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
really
and
great.
that's the thing too. If I think the developer deserves support, even if I'm not planning on playing the game right away, I will buy the game, you know. Uh
Yeah.
so yeah, I'm of two minds of the subscription things. I am afraid that it's going to be like a race to the bottom, and that these games are going to, as especially the AAA space, right? Like as these games get bigger, and the subscription service costs the same, does that mean like how much money is Xbox shelling out for these third party titles to show up on Game Pass versus how much is Game Pass going to cost in 5-10 years? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm more than willing to pay more for Game Pass. I think it's a great service for the consumer, but I am worried about how developers are going, like, and I know that each deal is it's a game by game basis, and the
Yeah.
deals are different and everything, right? But like, I am worried because you see a game like Rocket League that came out on PlayStation Plus on day one, and I think that really helped it gain popularity. But also, like, there, I think there were like 40 or 50 million PS4s out at that time. But by the
Yeah.
time Rocket League came out, and like, who knows if the deal they got versus people just buying the game kind of weighed out because of its popularity? Who knows, right? And
Yeah.
that's where I'm like, are the developers really getting the amount of money they deserve from the subscription service, or the deals?
Yeah, I mean, I think individually, probably hopefully most developers are getting good
Hmm.
deals, like
Yeah.
on getting signed up for a subscription service. My concern, I guess, goes back to discoverability.
Hmm.
It is cool having like things to browse from, but then the thing is, if you don't get the Xbox, if you don't get the subscription deal,
Hmm.
does that lower your discoverability? At Devolver, we have contacts, we help,
Yeah.
we have opportunities to make deals, we get to bring these games forward, but
Yeah.
I guess when I think about indies in general, not everybody has like the lofty position to be able to,
R- right.
make those deals.
Hmm.
Um, but it is, the economy of the gaming space will change over time, as all things are changing, uh,
Yeah.
every day.
Hey,
I
speaking. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Stephanie.
Well, I was gonna say, speaking of sorry, visibility and stuff like that. I see uh, Indie World Showcase hosted by Nintendo, ID at
Mhm.
Xbox. LeRon, does PlayStation have an indie type
What
showcase or
Sony's?
no?
I forget what Sony's. What Sony's version of it is. All I know is the PlayStation. No, PlayStation has. You know what? Hold on. Let
I
me
think
let me go
I
to their
think it's
website.
just called like We Heart Indies or something.
No,
Shuhei
that's not it. That's
Shuhei
yeah,
Yoshida tweets about it all the time.
It's Shuhei's thing.
He's so
Hold on.
lovely.
All right. Well, while he's looking that up, my question is, I will see a game, an indie game showcased first at maybe ID Xbox or
Mhm.
maybe everywhere on all platform showcases. I think a prime example, because people won't shut up about it as much as I'm sure it'll be great, is when Silk Song is coming out. Like every time there's a freaking indie showcase, the whole chat just explodes with Silk Song. But where did it first was it a Microsoft presentation where it first was, or is it
Oh,
Nintendo? I'm just
It
trying
was
to.
Nintendo. It was a Nintendo thing first, but then Xbox came out during I don't know if it was E3. I think it was E3, and they said that it would be day and date on Game Pass.
Okay, so I'm actually getting to a question. So with all that background, do you happen to know how does one, if they have the luxury of choosing to be showcased at maybe one big
mhm.
presentation or not, or I'm not sure how that works.
um, oh, I'm losing you.
Oh no.
I don't know if that's my connection. Um, um, so how does it work? Like choosing like which of the ones to get to go on, you mean?
Yeah,
Kind of
exactly.
thing?
Yeah, sorry.
Well, I mean, gosh, I mean, I really don't know. I'm not involved in like the making of those kinds of deals, but I guess it really goes to, who, like, you got to think about the individual game. You got to think about like it really on a game by game basis, who's offering, the best positioning for the game, who's showing um, who's giving it, like a prime spot, or how much time they're giving, like with something like that. I think and then of course, if there's a deal involved, so something is like going to Game Pass, then like, we'd want to, promote it through Xbox. If something's, so I mean, it's just, I guess you just do it on a game by game basis. But I mean, if you have the opportunity to do multiple of them, like if your
Of
game is
course.
hot enough that everybody wants you there, then you just go to all the balls.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I imagine someone like Devolver has the oh no, I guess has the balls to say, "Hey, we want to go here because we're Devolver, right?" And everybody's looking forward to the next Devolver game, right? I think that kind of I feel like I almost feel like Devolver's the exception to the rule, where I feel like you guys are big enough to kind of pull your own weight, and if you could almost be like, screw it, we're doing a Devolver Direct, and like people would follow, you know?
Have you seen a Devolver Direct? That'd be
Yes.
Yes.
cool. I mean, even those, like those Devolver Directs were fantastic and hugely popular. And but even those, like we're still a little guy, like as far as the video game companies go, like with the amount of spend we can do, with the amount of like clout that we have, and we're really lucky to be in the position that we are in. But like, even like those Devolver Directs, it would be like we come on the coattails of Bethesda's presentation because there's going to be millions of people watching that, or we go on the coattails of, someone else, so that, I don't know, but there's, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's cool being able to like, I mean, the opportunity you get from being able to do a Nintendo Direct or Sony State of Play, that's just their general thing. That's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
specifically indie. But like getting to be on a State of Play, getting to be in any of these things is just really a great opportunity. It's what I like to call a wonderful marketing opportunity.
Got it.
Wonderful marketing opportunity. I love
Yeah.
it. Um, well, I appreciate you answering all these, these hard hitting questions.
Yeah.
I I want to ask you a couple questions about voice acting, because
All
that
right.
also seems really interesting. Like, how did that start for you?
Well, I've always been a clown, and I've always done voices and been weird. I was raised by television, like many of us.
Ah, that television.
And
Yes.
yeah, I've got a lot of echolalia, so I like to like repeat accents and voices that I hear. Grew up watching a lot of BBC, Are You Being Served, Doctor Who,
Mm,
things like that. So, Monty Python. So
nice.
I was I'm sure absolutely charming as an elementary school and middle school student doing British accents all the time. I'm sure it was wonderful for everyone. Um but it's what I do. Like I'm an actor by vocation, and years ago I got tired of stage is absolutely the best. A live audience is the best thing in the world. Um, but stage productions take forever, and when you're done, nobody can see it. Film is cool, but really hard to do, and I don't like to do commercials. And voice acting was something I was like, I can work on this for many years. I can get a microphone, I can audition from home, and I can get gigs working from home. So it's been kind of like a long-term project. And I admit I don't it's more of a side thing, like because I have a day job at Devolver. But yeah, it's just a lot of fun getting to do. And so, I get to do things. I sent you a link to the I'm very, very proud of the Tentacular trailer that we did,
Mhm.
where I got to do a what's his name? Sir David Attenborough impersonation. I was very proud of that. So yeah, I don't know, just getting to do voices. It's fun. It's what I do naturally, and I don't know, it's fun getting weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. It's good. Have you ever, I mean, I know you said you've voiced a few things in Devolver games, but have you ever thought about doing more than just that?
Like other games and stuff
Like
like that,
other
or
games, or like full, like, are you going to be the main protagonist in Naughty Dog's next big AAA experience?
Oh,
Or
that'd be hot as hell. I would love to do. I'd love to do like mocap acting and stuff like that. That is a dream of mine.
Oh, dress
To
up in a
do.
skin tight unitard covered by ping pong balls.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, yes. I would need to like get back into yoga, but like the things I would want to do, I don't want to be, and I'll tell you this, I don't want to do like humans. I want to do all kinds of shit. And that's what's cool. I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I love to I'm in Wizard 101. I don't know if you guys know Wizard 101. I've been in
I know
that
what
a
you're
few
talking about. Yeah.
times. And like, I don't know, like anything where somebody gives you a picture of a monster and is like, do this guy. And I'm like, yes. Absolutely love that stuff. Like it's just a treat. So yeah, I mean, I definitely want to do more, and I need to do a better job of like auditioning for things. But
Well, don't
what?
forget us when you're famous.
all right,
What? So, I mean, you kind of just answered this a little bit, but what is your absolute dream role? Look at this guy. I broke his brain. I broke him. I broke
Smaug
Devolver.
and Gollum
Ooh.
in The Hobbit, but like a good The Hobbit, not the new movies, but like a really good
Wait,
or some
are you talking about the old school like animated stuff from Hanna-Barbera? Are you talking about
the
that
Rankin
stuff?
Bass, like more
Yes,
like
yeah, Rankin Bass. Thank you.
yeah, more like Rankin Bass, and then what's his name, Ralph Bakshi, but like adult animation,
Yes, yeah.
like really good adult animation. Like I think Song of Ice and Fire should be completely remade as like adult animation.
In that style.
Oh,
Oh
and
my
make it
god.
do it like a
They would
fucking
make so
anime.
much money. They would make
Do
so
it
much money.
do it like JoJo and like have like a million goddamn episodes a season and just if dream roll means that I get to like imagine the whole thing, no subtext. Like if it's not like something a character says, you just don't put it in there. Like you really like just hardcore nerd with this shit. But yeah, so maybe Oberyn Martell from Storm from book 3 of A Song of Ice and Fire. Oh, or have you all ever y'all know Suzanne Collins, who did the Hunger Games?
Oh,
She has an incredible series that she wrote before that called The Underland Chronicles. And there are some characters in there that I would very much like to do if they ever did anything with that.
Ooh, okay.
Super recommend The Underland Chronicles. Very, very, very like, incredible. She's such a, I love her writing so much. She's so elegant.
Cool.
Sorry. Went
Awesome.
right off the deep end on that one.
No, this is great.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now I have a book recommendation. Yes.
Gregor the Underlander is the first one.
Cool. Write that down. Everybody write that down.
Or anything like, holy shit, Arcane was so good. I
haven't finished Arcane, and I haven't finished the Dragon Age.
Oh, nice. I lost my mind when I saw Arcane. I absolutely love it. Yeah. So anything that team does, that animation team.
That team got hired by Bungie to do a non-gaming project for Destiny, so I'm excited for that.
I want in.
I want in. Oh man. All right. So thank you for answering our questions. This is great. I know we have a lot of Devolver fans, and this is great. We're gonna move into what we've been playing. JM, you are our esteemed guest. I'm gonna go your way first. What games are you playing? Are you watching anything? Are you doing anything cool?
I just watched Hell of a Boss on YouTube. It's very, very good. Very inspired by Invader Zim. Very adult animation.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All right.
I can't remember the name of it's a YouTuber's channel, and I guess she funded it, but she writes it. The writing's really good. It's a lot of fun. I was shocked at how much I enjoyed it. So I just watched that, and then I just finished replaying Elden Ring with no magic and no summons.
Wait. That does could that be hard? I don't know. Like I know the game itself is already hard, but does that make it harder?
That would be a one of the ways you could play it in hard mode.
Mm,
Like summons and magic make the game considerably easier.
Gotcha.
Um, I
yeah.
didn't do that the first time. The first time I used a lot of summons and a lot of magic, and it was still very challenging. But this time I was like, I'm gonna try it like the hardcore way.
Nice.
The hardcore way.
No core like the hardcore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I don't know what that means, but we'll get
Or
there.
the molten core.
Mm.
That's a hot core. Stephanie, what are you playing? What are you
Oh
doing?
goodness, I am in the realm
She said,
between
"Oh
worlds.
goodness."
What? No, I'm in the realm between worlds right now because I finished Resident Evil 4 remake. I don't know why I'm holding my hand like this, and Tears of the Kingdom. And there's a very narrow window between the two, and I'm very extremely wicked hesitant to start a sprawling large game in between. Like I
Take a
know,
break.
huh?
Take a break. Just play mini games. Do like I did. Play a palate cleanser. Like I played a palate cleanser for like almost 2 months. Between Dead Space and now.
And that's exactly what I did. I took a page out of the book of LeRon and I
Okay.
played Coffee Talk 2,
Mm.
Mm.
Butterflies and Hibiscus. It was amazing. I mean, I no lie, I visited the Toge, I'm sorry for if I mispronounce, and Chorus Worldwide booths at PAX East every day. So all 4 days, I was there every day and playing their games. I love Coffee Talk 1. I really love Coffee Talk 2. It took about 5 hours to play. Lo-fi music, chatting up people, making drinks, and mm, trying to do milk foam art that I'm terrible at. But no, it's just a narrative. It's like a thrilling narrative. I just absolutely love it, and I was happy to experience this game. So played through it, beat it, got a decent ending. Um, just fantastic. I highly recommend it. Um, and then I still have some time, so I've literally been dabbling in a bunch of indies. I've played a little bit of Do Not Feed the Monkeys, another game where the sequel, Do Not Feed the Monkeys 2099, was at PAX East, so I decided to play the first game. It's like a it's like a voyeurism sim where you're literally just spying on people and just watching them through videos and writing down what they do. It's
Yikes.
actually really fun, but I had to stop it because I was getting a bit of anxiety because not only is it like a voyeurism sim, like you're watching people and reporting what they do, but you also need to keep track of the food you eat and the sleep you get. And you need to work jobs to make money to pay for the food. So, and I'm playing on my Steam Deck. It's much better if you had a mouse and keyboard. I was having anxiety. I'm like, I'm missing live footage of 9 different cameras, but oh crap, I need to eat. The landlady's knocking on my door. It's high anxiety for me, but I do recommend it for people that like to manage things because some people have like take this sick joy in trying to figure stuff out like that. But good game. I'm a person that lives with anxiety, and it gave me a little bit of anxiety. Um, So, and I also played, oh my goodness, I have so much to talk about because I couldn't talk about it before because of the embargo. I played Strayed Lights, also from PAX. This has been like just a PAX East like flavor of the week type thing. Strayed Lights by Embers Games. I believe they're out of France. It's like an 8 or 9 team group. Fantastic game. No words, no talking. You just play as this being of light, and you kind of fight against yourself and against others that are imbalanced or are struggling with a certain aspect of life. And the combat is parry based, like it's all parry based, which sounds kind of daunting, but it's fun. And you need to match the color of your enemy, so you alternate between orange and blue. So if your enemy turns blue and is about to attack, you need to parry as the blue light. When it switches to orange, you got to quickly swap over. So it does become challenging when enemies are moving more quickly. They're behaving erratically, and then when you get to later levels, they also flash purple, which means it's an unavoidable attack, so you need to move. Um, so it was very unique. It was very aesthetically, like, it's beautiful. And the music too. I'd have to verify, but I think the person that did the music, oh crap, I don't know what else they did, but they're a well-known composer, and I actually want to buy the soundtrack. So played Strayed Lights, and then last but not least, I am beginning Roots of Pacha. It's been many a year since I've played a farming sim. Like, I played Harvest Moon 64, and that was kinda it, like, because I only had, like, 5 games throughout my entire childhood. Um, but I saw it on an Indie World showcase. I believe Roots of Pacha is also at PAX, so I wanna give it a shot. It's a farming sim, but based in, like, caveman days, so it's kinda
Hmm.
cool, and like I said, all these games that maybe I typically don't play, but feel a bit more casual to tide me over till Tears of the Kingdom. I don't wanna sound reductive of those games, because they are, I do heavily enjoy them as well, but they're just the right amount of time and effort in between large AAA sandwiches. So that's what I've
Hmm.
been playing. A lot of games. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Nice. LeRon, what are you playing?
All right. Well, I'm still going strong with my palate cleanser game, which is DJ Max Respect V. Like, still having fun and stuff like that. Actually being adventurous now and going outside of. I know I don't really explain this game a lot. I guess I just think that people will just automatically know what it is and whatnot. But basically, it's a rhythm game where it's just like all those games where like the notes fall down. You have to hit them on either the keyboard or your controller, whatever you're using, stuff like that. And there's so many different modes to how you can play. Like, you can play a 4-button mode, which means that you're only keeping track of 4 keys. You can play 5-button, which is like the hybrid version, and then you've got 6-button and 8-button modes and stuff like that. I've gotten adventurous and I've started messing around with 5 and 6-button, and like learning that I need to like sit my ass back down and go back to 4-button because that's how I have fun playing the game and all that stuff. So like, as always, music game. I always have fun music and rhythm games and stuff like that. But finally, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp finally hit.
Yeah.
Finally
Yay!
hit. And I'm enjoying it. If you guys want me to give it an actual rating, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. Yeah. Now here's my thing about it, right?
Here we
This
go.
Here
this
we go.
game was built for the Nintendo Switch, right? So the one thing
Game
you
Boy
think
Advance, but
no, this
I
Reboot
know.
Camp was built
I'm
for
just
the Nintendo
I'm
Switch.
just being difficult. I'm just
So
being difficult.
so the one major gripe because I never give games perfect scores. So this is the one that keeps this game from getting a perfect score. This game was built for a Nintendo Switch. How come it doesn't utilize is a tactical game, right? Like, all you're doing is just basically essentially pointing and clicking, right? Why did they not put touchscreen functionality in this game? This seems like a no-brainer. And honestly, if kids are playing, I guarantee you, kids, like, because I'm 47 years old, I guarantee you, like a 7 or 8 year old kid, it automatically was trying to like drag and click their soldiers and whatnot to get them to do things and stuff like that. So I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But I do love the fact that there's animated cutscenes from when like the COs do their powers and stuff like that. There's voiceovers and stuff like that. The music is revised from the original games, and you gotta remember, like, I played the Game Boy Advance games to death, so I love the soundtracks and stuff like that. And it brings a tear to my eye because I was like, man, my favorite game out of the entire series is Advance Wars Dual Strike, which is on the DS. And I'm like, man, I really want to ask our guest last week from Way Forward. Is there anything? Is there any idea about Dual Strike? Because that is my favorite game out of the entire series, out of the 4 games that were made. Because I don't include Battalion Wars. Um, but um,
Nobody does.
but yeah, but also he was like, hey, I can't answer any questions about future projects and stuff like that. So I'm sitting here with my fingers crossed that maybe that is coming and stuff like that. So yeah, so yeah. that's the lack of touchscreen functionality. That's the only gripe I have about the game. The game, in my opinion, is like doing everything it needs to do for me. And I catch myself like sometimes I play on the television, sometimes I'm in bed like just pecking away at it, in portable mode and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm having fun. Like I definitely recommend it because remember, guys, this is 2 games for the price of one. So like this is one of those rare times when $60 is actually worth it for a Nintendo Switch game. So I definitely recommend getting it and stuff like that. And maybe that's a glowing review for the game. I haven't done a review in like
Absolutely. For
forever.
someone who hates Nintendo, I say it's a glowing review. Oh, this face got serious so fast. No, seriously, LeRon, I'm so happy for you. This has been one of the
Yeah,
biggest teases for you for many a year.
Mhm.
oh, this was down. This is downright dirty. And Andre and I talked about this last night on Crossroads. Like we still don't really understand the reason or the thinking behind why they had to delay this game because here's a take on it, and you guys can definitely hear more about it on when the Crossroads episode 113 like launches real soon on YouTube and audio podcasts. We feel like in this day and age with all the stuff that's going on we've got a pandemic that we're like limping out of there's Russia's acting a damn fool right now with Ukraine. China is looking like they're about to do something. North Korea doesn't know if it wants to shit or get off the pot, stuff like that. Political discord all over the place, like like LGBTQ stuff is being attacked left and right here in the not just here in the United States, but in a whole bunch of other like developed countries around the world and stuff like that. So it's one of those things like we still don't understand what the real reason why Nintendo decided they were going to hold this game, because yeah, I do get it. Like if you if you when you start the game, it's funny because like the very first mission is like there's this country called Blue Star that invades Orange Star. And
Hmm.
Blue Star, when you look at the commander, he's got that hat and everything, and he's got the star on, and you just know that's Russia, stuff like that. But and we can say Orange Star might as well be Ukraine. We might as well, because like it's a country that technically isn't as advanced as the other countries, stuff like that. But still, like the parallels are there. But at the same time, Nintendo is a company that their mantra is like bring fun, bring fun to the masses and stuff like that. So it's really wild that like they wouldn't release a game that basically can take our minds off of the dumb shit that's going on in the world, you know. And
Mhm.
it's not just Nintendo that I'm going to rag on, because Microsoft does it, Nintendo does it, a lot of these I don't like when companies, not just video game companies, I don't like when they get political. And you know what? If you are going to get political, find the right things to be political about, because you know what? This game probably made less money releasing when it did last week than it would have when it released when it was originally supposed to release and stuff like that.
Was
I had a lot of anticipation for the game. I bought the game, of course, but I know some people. We're in the middle of like Resident Evil 4, like next month is insane. People are
Mhm.
saving $60 for April May's games.
Mhm.
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's
When was it
my thing.
supposed to be released?
A year ago.
It was supposed to
Oh,
be
and
released.
then
Yeah,
so you think it was the Ukraine?
Yeah,
yeah, it
Nintendo
was. It
Nintendo
was.
came out
It
and
was.
said that they delayed it because of that.
Oh, I
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
that's
I understand.
yeah.
I'm not being insensitive to what Nintendo thought they were doing and stuff like that, but at the same time, like I feel like a lot of companies, and not just Nintendo, I feel like they need to pick and choose when is the right time to do these battles. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like for example, Hogwarts Legends, Hogwarts Legacy. I'm sorry, Hogwarts Legacy came out and they stuck to their guns on it. All that bullshit that was going on with J.K. Rowling and all this stuff, and they were like, we're not gonna delay this game and wait for it to die down and stuff like that. There was only one delay, and that was because like the game needed more time to cook.
It's not like
But
she's gonna
beyond that,
stop.
Mm.
exactly. Like like Nintendo delayed this game for I think on the books it was 13 months. 13 months that was delayed, and and I'm not even sure what they were waiting for. In all honesty, because like we've seen how wars go. Like we just we technically walked out of like the Middle East, but we're still there. Honestly, and we've been in the Middle East for over 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
that works at a publisher, I will say, just first of all, being in the video game industry, all delays on games are spite, and they are just companies, developers, and publishers trolling the public. Hands down, nobody's ever working on more gameplay. The game is done. I promise you. If you've ever seen an ad, the game is finished. Nobody's ever.
Thank you for proving that to me. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody that. But it's always. But let's just pretend for a moment that weren't the case. I mean, there is a degree of sensitivity that, especially if you're a big company, I mean, and if they, I think. I wonder if they lost money on it or something like that of delaying it. But I think there's, if somebody does like a big real war and you have a game come out at the same time, you just don't want to be associated with. I mean, you just don't want to actually do that. You don't want to come out with like it's just. I mean, Rockstar canceled an entire update to GTA Online in 2020 because there was going to be a Cops and Robbers update. And
wow.
Well,
now, and
living life like it was GTA.
And you know what? In honesty, I understand that. I understand that very implicitly. But I guess I can definitely see where you're coming from on that.
So for someone in Europe,
maybe I'm the one who needs to pick and choose the battles.
I mean, I would say for someone in Europe, it would be a similar tone, where suddenly I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's kind of a thing where it's like, oh, this is happening next door to me, and this is like, So I mean, in defense of Nintendo, but again, these are all just done out of spite. It's all to troll like consumers. But if it weren't, it might be a good idea to just because they couldn't release it everywhere but Europe and be like, sorry guys, Putin started a thing.
I mean, every other company is releasing stuff except for Europe. I mean, like Sony, like Sony, Activision, and a whole bunch of companies are just like, nope, our games ain't coming out to you guys until your party gets that shit right.
You said Sony in Europe and all. I can just see that image of Jim Ryan where he's holding the controller and he's holding it wrong. It's a really funny image.
I still feel like that's a photoshopped image because there's no way.
It is not. It is a real image. It is so funny.
It's just wild to think about something like that would happen.
It's just a funny image. I'm not saying Jim Ryan doesn't play games or anything, but like that whole image is just, it makes me laugh every time I see it.
But okay, so snapping it back to like what we've been playing, because I've got one other game that I can talk about that I've been playing. I finally made my return back to Monster Hunter. Like Title Update 5 is out and stuff like that. We've got an Elder Dragon that I have not seen in over 10 years in a Monster Hunter game.
10 years.
Yeah. 10 years, yeah. Because now honestly,
like, have y'all talked in that time, or like, I mean, like what's been going on? That's exciting.
No, I got hella ghosted.
Brutal.
Yeah. And Corey, we're gonna have words after the podcast is over because I saw that. I saw all of that.
That's fine.
But yeah. So like I'm back in the Monster Hunter thing. Like we knew I wasn't gonna stay away forever, But I'm back and I'm glad. I'm rusty as hell though. Shit, like it's weird. Like trying to remember my commands and my button presses and stuff. It's like, oh man. Like, guys, you're going to have to carry me for a couple of missions because I'm not doing shit.
I felt that way with Destiny the other day because I haven't played it since I've been playing Resident Evil, and I was like, man, I'm really rusty. I'm like, I don't know what build I'm wearing. I don't know what weapons I'm using. I'm really confused right now. So, but luckily, 90% of the people that I play with, that's literally the only game they play. So I'm like, well, that's fine. So, but good. I'm glad to see that you're back at the monster hunting, LeRon.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm back to playing the games that I love.
You're not you when you're not monster hunting.
Really?
I don't know. I was just trying to make you feel better.
I was about to say, like, I don't feel like I'm some like dour, like, I don't feel like like I'm gonna get all red eyed and turn to the dark side, if I'm not playing Monster Hunter. But chances are, because you guys know, like I talk about Monster Hunter as much as I can.
Yes, yes, you do,
I know. I
and
was
we love
worried
you
for
for it.
you when you were like, I can't catch up with all those title updates.
I know.
Yeah,
To
like
be fair,
yeah.
LeRon's been quite busy the last few weeks, so.
Yeah.
I have.
Uh, is that it? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
It's your
It's your
turn.
Is it
turn.
my
It's
turn?
your turn. I'm done.
LeRon, you're gonna be so proud of me.
Yeah,
I
have you started playing Monster Hunter?
no, but
Ah, I'm logging off.
Awesome.
Good night,
no.
everybody.
But listen,
You read
listen.
the show notes. You'll find out how to reach me. I'm out.
Not only did I play Resident Evil 4,
You beat it?
I finished Resident Evil 4.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
The game is not. The game
all
is
by
not as
myself.
hard and as scary as you thought it is. Was it? Is it?
No, it was
No, it
definitely
is.
not hard because
He complained the entire time being scared.
it was only a couple times. No. By the way, Boss Rush Book Club. By the time this episode's live, it will be out on Patreon and out for free for everybody next week on YouTube. Go look at it. Go watch it. It was fun. It was fun. We had Chris from Franchise Festival on. It was great. So, and Pat,
And PK Power.
PK Power.
PK Power.
Yes. See, Pat, making it a thing. Making it a thing. So I finished that. It was great. I see why people think that is one of the greatest games of all time.
Yeah,
I
some people think that.
yeah, I was kind of concerned at the beginning. I think the beginning is actually kind of boring, but as you get deeper into the game and like you start unraveling the mysteries
Oh,
of the
it's like
game, it
it.
it really ramps up at the castle,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. It does.
So I was proud of myself for that. I finished The Mandalorian. I have been
You know what?
oh
You since you brought it up,
mhm, mhm.
I need to ask you something.
Okay.
How'd you feel about the finale?
I thought it was fine. It was just fine.
Just fine. Just fine or fine? Oh, hold on. Fine like that fine like you when your wife tells you it's fine, but you know you fucked up somewhere?
No,
Or
it's
or
not that fine.
or
Uh,
fine like like you tripped on the sidewalk, skinned your knee a little bit, or fine as in, you know what? Uh, it is what it is what it is.
here's the thing. The internet hyped it up so much. They said that was total fan service. The Mandoverse is here. I see these tweets. I'm like, I don't know what any of this means, but I guess I'm like maybe Admiral Thrawn shows up, or maybe Luke shows up again, or Ahsoka, or something happens. I'm like, it's just a bunch of Mandalorians fighting fake stormtroopers. What do you want from me? It's fine.
You
It's
know,
fine. Sorry,
you
I
know, I
spoiled
will.
that for anybody who
Spoilers.
hasn't seen the
I'm glad
finale.
you mentioned the whole thing about Ahsoka because I feel like the new Ahsoka trailer. I feel like it overhyped like the Mandalorian people that were watching the current season, but and kind of set people up for a letdown because like I hate to say this, just like how like when Obi-Wan's like promos were coming out and everything, like I couldn't wait to watch it. Like Ahsoka is what I'm waiting for. Like I was like, you know what? I'm just in the Mandalorian to see how the season ended, which I
Yeah,
did,
I mean,
which I did.
I don't. I'm not as high on the Mandalorian as a lot of people are. I think the show is good. I think it's fun. I don't think it's the best thing ever. But it's good. Like it's good. I am definitely looking more forward to something like Ahsoka or the second season of Andor. You know, something along those lines. I think more. Uh,
Yeah, I need to hurry
but
up and finish Andor.
mhm,
Like my boyfriend and I are watching it right now.
yeah, but it's good. I don't know if this season was any better or worse than the previous seasons, but uh, so I finished.
Uh, um, mm. This season, you know what? This season was good, but me saying that out loud, like I hate to say it, but on a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 6.5. This is a
Mm,
lukewarm season.
yeah,
Like it did the Star Wars thing, like the
the
movies do, where
Star
the
Wars
plot,
thing.
where there's so many plot threads going on,
Hmm.
and they're spaced out way too far because like some things happen in one episode, you don't see the resolution until 3 episodes later, and it's only because I feel like they shoehorned it in there because you don't even see anything of those other characters for the next 3 episodes until they're like, oh, we need to finish this, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, But the one thing and I told this to Andre last night because we spent 20 minutes on Crossroads talking about that. We're only supposed to be talking about PlayStation, PC, and Xbox gaming on that show.
Mm.
But
Are you though? Are you though?
but for real though, the one thing that I give them kudos for is I feel like they are trying to wrap up, like trying to wind down the Mandalorian, because this season gave us the one thing that we had not seen the previous 2 seasons. We had not seen what's really been going on with the New Republic, as far as their because by the time we get to episode 7, the New Republic is like, they think they're in some good standings, and they're not, because the First Order is coming, and we get to see the build up of the First Order in the Mandalorian. We're starting to see the rumblings of it and stuff like that. So I'll give it that. It's definitely plugging itself back into the overall lore of Star Trek, Star Trek. I'm sorry, Star Trek Picard just ended. Like, no more episodes of that. This the same week that the Mandalorian has for the season finale and stuff like that. So I'm still kind of reeling on that one.
So yeah, that it was good, but I also guys, get ready. I've been playing Disney Speedstorm.
Well, this is not the other Disney game.
I've been playing that too, but I decided not to bring it up today. It's fine. It's weird. I don't like it. Yeah, so it positions itself as a Mario Kart kind of clone with Disney characters, but you have to unlock the other characters, right? They're not all unlocked at once. And then it has an RPG mechanic to it, to where they want you to keep using the same racer and level that character up, because each character has their own special move that they can do throughout the race, kind of like Mario Kart Double Dash, where each character had their own unique item. It's kind of like a similar thing, but you can still use all the rest of the items and stuff. But like, so it's kind of like counterintuitive to what they want you to do, because they want you to play and unlock all the characters, or pay for the characters, I guess, too, because it's technically a free to play game. But they also want you to stay as the same character to level up your cart and your character, because they're two separate RPG mechanics, and it's really weird. I want to like it because the actual racing part is actually pretty solid. It plays a lot like Mario Kart 8, which I appreciate. But the in-game mechanics and almost the pay to win style thing is kind of like gross. I'm like, I could deal with this
on a free to play game.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yeah.
How curious. Egad.
But see, they don't do that in Disney Dreamlight Valley, because that's also a free to play game.
We just opened the door, didn't we?
We did. Hey, I didn't. I'm not talking about that game.
It speaks
Thank
for itself.
God. Thank God.
Although I did put the Star Path pass this month is themed around Disney parks, and so I have the Ferris wheel from Disney's California Adventure. I have the Dumbo ride, and I have a Figment topiary in my garden.
Ooh,
you're a Dumbo ride.
Can you get Mexico from the lake, the Epcot lake?
You cannot. There's only 3 rides. I'm working on the last one now. I forget what the last one is, though.
Love Mexico at Epcot.
I know.
It's one of those things where you go inside the building and it's like night inside the building.
Yeah.
Changed my life as a kid when I saw that. I was like, that's all I want. I want every inside to be painted like it's outside. This is fantastic.
And the boat ride. And then they have their chips and guacamole. Super expensive, but worth it. Just throw that out there. Little Disney magic for you guys.
Now I'm hungry. Thanks.
I know. I'm hungry too, but we'll talk about that later. I think we have time for one topic, maybe not both topics that are on the dock tonight, but we're gonna get to one. So let's see. You know what? You work for a developer. We're gonna go with this one. Is DLC still important?
Boo! I worked so hard on my answer to the other question.
Did you? Do you want to answer that question?
No, it's fine. Yes,
what is
DLC is
No, it's
important.
fine.
No, it's fine. DLC is fantastic. You know why it's fantastic? Because the free DLC for Cult of the Lamb just came out. Relics of the Old Faith. It adds plenty
True.
of end game content and a whole bunch of new items for you to get to use. So
Hell
why aren't you
yeah.
playing Cult of the Lamb right now? That's what I gotta ask. I haven't been doing any marketing this whole time, and I feel like I've been an absolute
we're
cad, and I apologize.
we're gonna get there. We're gonna
Wait, didn't Cult of the Lamb just drop on PlayStation Plus? Like, wow, he just guilted me into playing this game. I have
It
not played this game.
sure did, and it is a delight. People love it. Quite addictive. It's adorable and monstrous at the same time.
sacrifice people in the church. Do it.
Oh,
Do it.
sorry, because I was going to say it's kind of an ActRaiser like, where you've got like Town Sim, and then you've got Action Adventure, and you're talking about Advance Wars and Advance Wars 2 coming out on the Switch, and like it being like a big deal. ActRaiser was a huge deal for me as a kid, and the
Yes,
ActRaiser
ActRaiser was.
Renaissance came out.
I
That
enjoyed
is the
that.
ugliest goddamn game I've ever seen. I was so mad, and it was so good. I went into that ready to hate it because it was so ugly. The 2D parts were so like
Yeah.
what? But it was so good. It was such an incredibly good game. It blew me away. Sorry, I just forgot that I'd wanted to say that when you're talking about these old games coming back to Switch. Shockingly good. ActRaiser was huge for me. Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah, so DLC, right? DLC.
So for me, I am all for DLC. I love it. I'm willing to pay for DLC depending on the situation. I think the only time where may not be the best in my opinion is if like a true ending of a game or the whole point of a game is locked behind a paid DLC. I don't think that happens very frequently because it's not really received well. But if it's to add to the story or to supplement or to update the mechanic, absolutely. I mean, I eat that stuff up, but I could also just be a stupid consumer. But I love DLC.
DLCs are great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite game is literally based on the DLC that you purchase every year. So with
Oh,
Destiny.
yeah.
So
Oh,
there's that one major expansion every year, and then every 2 or 3 months or so, they're like, here's some DLC for you. You want to give us $15, $10? Here you get some cool things if you play the season. Here's some story beats.
Yeah.
You're not gonna want to miss them.
The Last of Us had that DLC
Left Behind.
Left Behind
Left Behind.
that I really loved. I mean, the not Tears of the Kingdom. I clearly am only focused on that. Breath of the Wild DLC was fun. I actually really like the Trials of the Sword, where you literally start out with nothing and you need to kind of revamp those skills that you probably didn't need to worry about since the beginning of the game. So I have a lot of great memories of DLC.
What about you, LeRon? Are you a DLCer? I mean, Monster Hunter probably. I mean, the expansions,
Yeah.
I guess, but
Yeah, I feel like DLC is still important, but I also feel developing trends and stuff kind of sully like the idea of DLC sometimes. I just think back, me being the hypercynic, I just think back to like all these games that get announced and we're told like all this content that's going to be in there, and then the game comes out and it's like, wait, where's all this content at? And then all of a sudden a paywall shows up and it's like, hey, hey, remember that stuff we talked about that was going to be there at launch? It comes out now, and here's how much money you have to pay for it and stuff like that. But honestly, I am always going to be supportive of anything that keeps my favorite games, like in my system longer, stuff like that. Which is why I play Monster Hunter to death. Like all these title updates that happen and all that stuff. Like, yes, bring them on. Like event quest, all this stuff, or when like when a game has been like silent for like 2 years and all of a sudden like The Witcher, for example, just dropped DLC like a year ago, and I was like, what?
wait, what?
Well, maybe it wasn't The Witcher, I know, but actually, let me sticking with CD Projekt Red.
I was about to run away and go check my Witcher.
Yeah. I know. I know. I'm sorry.
They dropped the Series X and PlayStation 5 patch
Yeah,
with some new DLC.
Yeah,
From the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. Yeah, there was that,
Uh,
but the big thing, of course, is like the RTX Overdrive stuff for Cyberpunk.
Mm.
Like basically makes it like a whole new game. The only problem is you need to make sure you have a high end PC. Like my PC my PC almost does not qualify. Thank God I just got 3090 recently. But yeah, yeah, DLC is still important in my opinion, but like I also feel like it can be a very double-edged sword because you think about some of the scandals and stuff like Capcom releasing a game where like people data mined and found out like the $25 content was actually already on the disc that you own that you spent $60 for, and that's like man, that's a slap in the face, because like why are you charging us the money if it's already there?
Right. Oh my
right.
gosh, it just dawned on me one of my more favorite DLCs that had a recent update was Dead Cells. That's the game that keeps on
Hmm.
giving. I mean, Dead
Mhm.
Cells dropped a
Mm-hmm.
lot of content. That's a great game to have DLC, right? Because it's this roguelike, just add a few biomes. And the fact that they collaborated with the whole Castlevania concept, you get those familiar characters and the music. Ah, the Castlevania music, I love it. So,
Yeah. I used to love DLC, especially when like Mass Effect would come out, right? And like you got those interstitial stories between entries or
Yeah.
uh obviously Mass Effect 3, like the big kind of wrap up party DLC was super fun. Like there's a lot of DLC that like enhances the game and I like the DLC that enhances the game instead of like, oh well, you have to like Horizon Forbidden West, for example. Burning Shores just came out and I'm hearing amazing things, right? But it's l- from what I'm hearing, it's literally a Horizon 2.5 to where you have to play it to understand what's going to happen in 3. And like
oh.
and like yes, as a huge Horizon fan, I'm going to play it because I'm a sucker like that. But I don't really like when games do that. I the first Horizon had a DLC, what Frozen Wilds.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
it told this separate side story that enhanced the world without, and you didn't have to play it to like find out what else is going on in the world, right? It's just a nice little side story that gave you some lore, met some new characters, new robot dinosaur bears to fight. Oh my gosh, that opening scene though with the robot bear. Oh, scary. Scary. You climb to the top of this hill and it's just waiting for you. It's so scary. Uh so
Brutal.
in terms of DLC, that's kind of where I'm at, which is hilarious because that's exactly the game that I have been playing for 10 years. Is you have to buy the DLC to keep getting the story. Uh,
Yeah. Would you
so
say there's a? I mean, would you make a distinction between like games as a service
mhm.
DLCs
Yeah,
and like other DLCs?
yeah, I think so, and I think there's a big difference now. Well, maybe even PC gamers in the mid to late 2000s, right? Where like there's a difference between expansion and just DLC at this point,
Hmm.
I think, right? I, I
Yeah.
mean, is that fair to say that? I mean, I guess technically it's all DLC, but
Yeah. DLC is a broad topic,
mhm,
I guess, because like
yeah,
even different outfits and stuff like that is DLC. So
hmm yeah. Uh, any, anywho, DLC, I enjoy it.
Dilk.
Yep. So there are some upcoming Devolver games coming, and there are
Mm-hmm.
some recent releases.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about
Yes.
this. Tell me about this Terra Nil because it looks like something right up my alley.
Terra Nil's available now. I don't got to tell you anything. You can go Terra get it. It's on Steam and it's free on iOS and Android for Netflix subscribers. Terra Nil, Unmake the Wasteland. You are given a wasteland. It's a resource puzzle game, very soothing, very chill. Harder than you might think, because it is possible to work yourself into a corner and have to restart a zone or restart from a checkpoint. But yeah, it's super lovely and made by, of course, Free Lives, who are working on. Well, I guess now they're not. Well, they'll be. I'm sure they'll be doing more stuff for Terranil soon. But they're doing Stick It to the Stick Man, Angerfoot.
Oh, yes.
That shirt is
Uh,
awesome, by the way.
it's great, isn't it? It's
I've
such
been
a cool game.
I've been wanting to tell you your shirt's cool the whole episode, but I was like, how do I just work that in? Thank you for the work in.
Sure. Yeah. No, it's great. The folks that made Broforce, Genital Jousting, Free Lives, incredible studio. And they the way that they do things, they have such a variety of games. It's really incredible. But yeah, Terra Nil just came out. It's super chill, very fun, worth checking out. Yeah, you put grass and trees in places. What's not to like?
I love it. I love it.
I
Go ahead, Stephanie.
I'm personally just psyched for Gunbrella and Pepper Grinder. Is it Pepper Grinder?
Oh my God, I forgot we have Pepper Grinder. I'm so stoked for Pepper Grinder
Yeah.
and Gunbrella.
Yeah. Those are kind of, I mean, I have my eye on all of them, but those are kind of like high up on my list. I want to float around and shoot people with an umbrella. Hell yeah.
It feels so good. So you probably already know it's Doinksoft, the folks that made
Gato
Gato
Roboto.
Roboto. And the Devolver Bootleg Collection, which was part of one of our directs. You can pay for that on Steam, and it's like 6 or 8 bootleg versions of Devolver games that are better than they have any right to be, because Doinksoft is just fucking good at making video games.
Yeah.
Gunbrella feels really nice. Like it
This game
it
looks
feels like
incredible.
it should. It's so good.
It looks incredible. It's giving me some, like, just in terms of how dumb the idea is of Shovel Knight vibes, where like obviously you're fighting with the shovel in Shovel Knight, but this you're fighting with an umbrella. It looks I'm watching the trailer right now. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
This instant buy for me, I think.
It's quite good. And
Sold.
more adult than you might think from the style. I guess more, kind of like how Celeste is like kind of more mature in its themes, even though it's just a pixely platformer.
I love the art in this. I love the way the game looks. This is so cool.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sold. Sold.
Thanks, Steph.
Yeah, no problem. That's high on my list. Though Angerfoot's got me extremely intrigued, because I generally don't go for anything that is first person, but this seems like such a ridiculously awesome adrenaline fueled rush, and I'm not sure. I've been trying to like stay mostly blind on games that are on my to play list for the most part, other than just your trailers that you get. Um, Ballpark, how long of a game is Angerfoot expected to be? Or you not either don't know or don't have the privilege to say? Sorry if I put you on the spot.
No, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I genuinely don't know how long it's going to be. I would guess from the style of game it is at less than 6 hours. But that might not, there's probably going to be all kinds of challenge modes and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
No, yeah. I just I see that as a game where, like, hard day at work, turn on whatever console and just smash some shit. Smash some shit.
Smash some shit. We have rapid fire questions for you. We got late entry questions from Austin Campbell, a friend of show, in the Discord. Quick rapid fire questions. What Devolver game would you like to see a sequel for?
Absolver.
Yeah. What about Death's Door for your fans over here?
I don't know what they're going to do next. I don't know what Acid Nerve's going to do next. You know what you can do in the meantime, though, is you can play Titan Souls, if you haven't already. That's the game that they made many, many, many years before they made Death's Door.
I remember that game.
Okay, that one is... It's a younger version of Death's Door, but it still holds up, and it's still gorgeous. And you get, if you do the secret ending, you get to fight a biblically accurate angel.
Ooh,
it's true.
Okay.
I played that game at the first PAX I went to.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no kidding. So, nice.
Yeah. Next question. Who would win between the beans of Fall Guys and the genitals of Genital Jousting?
Everybody. That sounds like a win-win situation.
It's true.
That sounds like because they're not just genitals. They got buttholes too.
There's a lot going on in genital jousting. Let's be
There's
honest.
a lot going on in genital jousting, which again, the story mode. If there's a word for Devolver Games, it's subversive, because things are often better than they have a right to be, or weirder than they have. Like genital jousting, the single player story mode is better than it has any right to be. It is mature, intelligent writing that has a real perspective and information to share.
All right, you know what? That's it. Tomorrow I'm firing up General Jousting on my Steam Deck because it's in my library. I just haven't
Also,
played it yet.
fun fact on Steam: every anniversary, their game drops to 69 cents.
Oh,
I
I
follow
love it.
I follow Wario64.
Oh,
And I turn on notifications, and every time that game comes up in his feed, is like your yearly reminder that genital jousting is 69 cents. And it makes me laugh every time.
Such a good game. Such a good game.
What mundane daily task do you wish could be done in just a minute? MINIT.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't want to do any tasks in the minute style of minute, because then I die at the end of that minute.
That's true, but you'd be
And
revived,
that's
and then you have
brutal.
to
Then I'd be
sprint to the
revived.
next thing.
God, that game is so fun as a game, but it would be such hell.
That game gave me such anxiety because,
Yes.
I mean, for those who don't know what minute is, you literally only have a minute to do something, and then you die, and then you have to.
You respawn.
Hmm.
It's good. It's so
It's
good.
good though. It
It's
is.
Yukio, Kitty, and JW. I think that's it for devs on that. They keep not making a name when they do games, because they just keep doing these different collaborations. But the same core of people that made Disc Room.
Uh, all right. So we have
Oh, my task. Pooping.
pooping.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's fair.
That's not true. I'm a fast pooper.
Hmm.
I'd probably already.
I guess it
I'm
depends
pooping
on what
right
you've
now.
eaten that day, or I guess the day before, technically. But
Yeah. No.
what?
5 minutes in and out.
When?
1 minute in and out. There we go. Sorry, I'll
Yes.
stop with the poop jokes. I love poop jokes. Go on.
When can we see more of the Plucky Squire?
oh,
Soon, hopefully. Oh, I'm the voice in that trailer.
what?
Yeah.
I want to re-listen to that.
Hopefully more soon. Yeah, we haven't shared anything. We did in the holiday special, we had a few extra I think we showed a little bit that hadn't been seen before. But we didn't show a lot. Yeah, I'm sure we've got more from Plucky Squire coming soon. We'll probably have more to share from that in the near future.
Cool. And he says, convince me that card games are great and Inscription is the one I should play.
Boy, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, customizable card games are hit and miss. It's such a popular genre. I can't like blanket give you permission for that or give you an endorsement on that. But Inscription, I mean, just sit down with it. It's not about the card game. it's a whole, it's, as the French say, a whole fucking mood. It is I mean, I don't know, like the card game is also really good, the card games. But oh god, Inscription.
I've heard great things about this game.
It's so good. It's so fucking, Daniel Mullins is such a genius, and B, such a darling. What a lovely fellow. Like, just, it's so good. It's the meta on that game.
Right, because
And then just
it's supposed to be scary too, right? It's a scary-ish game.
yeah.
Are there jump scares
No.
while you're playing the game? Question mark. I don't know. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any jump scares. There doesn't need to be jump scares. It's proper stuff where it doesn't need to be a jump scare
All
to
right. No.
be
Yeah. Okay.
upsetting. It's good. It's
Highbrow
so good.
scares. No.
Highbrow scares. Yeah, I don't think there's any jump scares. There might nothing stands out in my mind. There might be, but nothing stands out in my mind. No, it's so good. It's so creepy and so weird and so, and the card game is really fun. Oh, here's the selling point on the card game. If you're having trouble making cards, one of the things you'll be doing as you play Inscription is making custom cards.
Hmm.
And at first you might throw these away as just like, oh, whatever, but they come back up in different playthroughs. So the custom cards you make can really strengthen your deck. And it's really cool getting to make some broken fucking cards in that game. Ugh, it's so good. It's like if Baba Is You was like a really freaky card game. Like the
Okay.
way that it plays with the fundamental nature of the mechanics.
That game was interesting.
God, I love that game. God, I wish we'd sign that game.
That game was really hard. And
It's so hard.
Someone who's super dumb. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh, I never beat it. I got to a certain threshold and I was like, well, this is as far as I go.
Oh. So that's it for the questions. Austin, huge Devolver fan.
What Devolver games do y'all like the least? What are the worst Devolver games? What disappointed you?
Oh no.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay,
Hard-hitting questions.
I've legit been trying to bumble my way through this because I'm not a big indie gamer. So honestly, like I don't honestly have an answer for this.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to really think about this. Stephanie, it's your turn.
No, because I can't think of any,
So
so I need to look and make up an answer.
I have okay, so I have an answer, but it's not because of the game. It's more because I I enjoyed playing Gato Roboto, but
How dare you? How
the
dare
black and
you?
white the black and white art style was so like it was hard for me to read on the Switch, and
Hmm.
I got angry.
There are different color palettes you can unlock, like urine.
You cad.
How dare you?
Say like urine.
Also,
Yes, I think there's one called urine.
Yeah, makes sense.
Also, I'm going to probably anger a lot of people for this too, but it's because I don't like. Okay, the Swords of Ditto I didn't enjoy because I didn't know it was a roguelike before I started it.
Oh.
And I thought it was just going to be some kind of like cool, maybe Zelda-esque adventure or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned out to be a roguelite. And if it says that word in the description, was this the game that made me like really pay attention to that word? Maybe not.
Oh.
But yeah, I won't. It takes a lot for me to play a roguelite at all. Like
Fair,
Dead Cells
fair.
is really the only one that I'm like I half enjoyed, and that's because it was so fun to play, but I hated starting over.
Except obviously for Hades.
I haven't played Hades. For that reason alone,
You
actually.
lucky duck. You have the opportunity to play Hades for the first time.
I do. I hear good things. Here's the thing. I hear great things. But it's the roguelike thing, man. Just
Fair enough. Yeah, if you're not ready for that, that can be a shock. So like playing Swords of Ditto and then being surprised that it's a roguelite, I can see that being jarring.
Not that okay, here's the thing though. The game's not bad. It's just
No.
genre that
the game is
angered me.
lovely. Fair enough.
Great art style too.
Super cute.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list of games that I've played, not out of the games I've played. I don't have one that I just marginally didn't like in the least, and I'm not just saying it, but I can tell you of a game that I have not picked up just because I am afraid, not afraid, that's a weird word. Sorry, it's getting late. I need another caffeinated beverage. Based off of like the description, I feel like it might not be my kind of game, and that's Card Shark. Like I know it's a good game. I've heard a lot of fantastic things, and I have 0 grounds to say anything negative about it. But because of all the Devolver games that I've played, I just really love and can't pick like the one I enjoy the least. I would at least say I've avoided Card Shark because I'm at a point where like going forward, I'm like buying and playing every Devolver game just because I'm just a loyalist. But I've kind of shied away from it just because of like I'm just thinking about the cards and trying to be
Yeah.
cunning and tricking people. I'm like, brain
Yeah.
hurts, brain hurts. I don't know. And like I said, I know it's completely unfair. Um there have been genres of games that I typically don't enjoy or don't play, and then I finally try
Yeah.
one and I actually find out it's fantastic. So maybe someday.
Card Shark is a weird game.
Okay.
It's a weird genre because it's not really a card game. I will say you don't have to like. There's not a lot of like you having to figure out when to pull a trick. It's a little more linear on like it's like now you're going to do this trick. It almost kind of works out to be more of a series of mini games set within
Okay.
the narrative of French card cheats.
Okay.
So you're like doing these mini games to perform the different cheats. They're very challenging,
Okay. Yeah, I just
but
figured like I like Corey, I'm kind of dumb and might not maybe get out of it that the developers would want me to get out of it. I do enjoy the setting and the art style though. Like that's what grabbed me.
yeah. What's nice about Card Shark is that the way I mean, ultimately, if you just enjoy the story, you can. If there's any of the puzzles that like it's all skippable. Like all of the puzzles are actually skippable. If you're like, you know what, this one's not working for me, I'm gonna skip it and I'm gonna move on with the story and keep playing the game. There's also, I think, on the lowest difficulty mode, there's like a hint mode
Oh, okay.
that because it is such a weird game, I think Nerial recognized that there was a need for increased accessibility and increased like just kind of getting people through it because it changes so many times and some of the tricks are very hard and require like several steps and stuff like that.
All right, that's
So
good to
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I could use a couple hints. That makes me feel a little less intimidated by it. So
yeah.
I'm watching the Angerfoot trailer right now.
Yeah.
It's so fun. You know what this reminds me of a little bit is that weird game that People Can Fly made probably like 10 years ago, Bulletstorm, a little bit. Uh
Oh yeah, yeah,
just by
yeah.
like how weird they added this mechanic. Not that it's like the same type of game or anything, but like the foot thing, bullet
We'd like kick people in the air and do
yeah.
like bullet combos and
Yeah, it's
stuff.
kind of
Yeah,
cool. Is there a console version of this coming at some point?
probably.
Great.
We try to port everything to everything that we can.
love
Great.
it.
I like that answer. I like that answer.
We do what we can. We do what we must because we can.
I appreciate that. Speaking of that, we're gonna wrap this episode. JM, thank you again so much for joining us on this episode. You guys are a great company and make a lot of great weird games that I'm looking forward to playing some other ones
Yeah. You guys have a
later.
fantastic pipeline
Hmm.
that I'm very
Yeah,
excited about.
yeah.
Thanks. Thanks for
So
having me.
yeah,
It's been fun.
you wanna tell people where they can find you, or you want to plug anything before we get out
Oh,
of here?
um, uh, I'm I'm at JMASPECHT on the flaming remains of Twitter. You can find Devolver Digital at Devolver Digital on Twitter, twitch.tv/Devolver Digital, discord.gg/Devolver Digital. If you ever want to join a Discord of a bunch of people talking about a video game publisher, you have that opportunity. Did you know that Facebook has room for brands? We know that, and we're on Facebook as well. Instagram, baby. Do you like stories from brands advertising in the middle of people advertising their lifestyles? Hot diggity damn. We're on Instagram. TikTok, while it's still legal, and maybe after it's illegal, we got a TikTok. We do the hot talks and the mad ticks, and we were on that mammoth one or elephant or what was it called?
Mastodon?
Mastodon. We were on Mastodon, but
Yeah, I'm on
Mastodon's
Mastodon
gone.
too. We
Wait, is
use
it
it.
still there?
Yeah, we use it for work. It's
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Neat. Well, we're not on Mastodon anymore, I don't think.
Uh,
So if you want to, yeah, so sorry about that. We were briefly on Mastodon.
it's fine. It's fun because instead of tweets, they're called toots.
How
Like
dignified.
I tooted.
I tooted to I do that. That could be confusing because I also toot a lot.
Ah,
Hey, better out than in.
Yeah. Woo!
It's very
It's
true.
It's
Very,
true.
very true.
That would be a horrible medical condition. Yeah, and for things that I'm particularly proud of, if you go to YouTube and check out the Devolver Public Access Holiday Special from 2022, I'm very proud of that, and I hope we get to do more of those. Yeah, I guess that's all the things. If you're not already playing Cult of the Lamb, play Cult of the Lamb. Bleak Sword, we didn't even talk about Bleak Sword. That's coming out. Go wishlist that on Steam. That's also coming out on Switch, but you can't wishlist it yet on Switch. So many games coming out. We got so many games coming out. It's great.
Just real quick,
So many.
which is the first one out of all of them? Would that be Bleak Sword? That's like the next one in line to be dropping, or
I don't know. I have a problem where it's hard for me to remember what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not to.
gotcha. No, it's okay. Then we'll just say all of those coming soon.
All those. Yeah, wishlist them on Steam and then you'll know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we appreciate your time.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.
This was awesome. You can follow us at Boss Rush Network, at Boss Rush Podcasts on Twitter, and all social media networks. Check out bossrush.net for all of our content. Next week is Kathy Dongo of Razer. She will be on, formerly of Capcom and Nintendo. So we will be talking to her next week. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out our interviews. Check out all the cool things happening. And we will see you next time.
I forgot to plug something.
Plug it.
Is it in bad taste to plug a podcast on a podcast?
No.
Oh, do it,
No, we
man.
have the Devolver Digital podcast, forkcast.devolverdigital.com.
Fortcast?
Forkcast.
Fork.
Our CFO is Fork Parker. He's a heinous capitalist. But so we named it after him. So the Forkcast.
I found it.
DevolverDigital.com.
Oh yeah, he's sitting at a desk with piles of money, smoking a cigar. Love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's incorrigible.
We're going to put it in the show notes as well.
Show notes.
Show notes. Check those show notes.
I mean, come on, the latest episode's called The Spanish Kojima, so I'm giving it.
Oh.
Right?
Oh, man. Thanks for everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Night.
Long.
The Boss Rush Podcast is a product of Boss Rush Media, LLC, and is recorded from our headquarters in Akron, Ohio. This show is produced, written, and directed by me, Corey Dirrig. My co-hosts are Stephanie Klimov, LeRon Dawkins, and Edward Barnell. You can find Stephanie at Klimov_author on Twitter and Instagram, as well as on the EXP cast. You can find LeRon at Exodus803 on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube, and also on Crossroads, the video game podcast. You can find Edward at ThatRetroCode on Twitter and Instagram, as well as hosting Nintendo Power Block. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCoreyInHD, and find me hosting Tower Casuals, the Destiny podcast, and co-hosting Nintendo Power Block. Find the Boss Rush Podcast on all social media platforms at Boss Rush Podcast. You can also follow Boss Rush Media and Boss Rush Network on all major social media platforms. Join the Boss Rush Network Discord and Facebook groups to interact with other friends and fans. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.